Welcome back to another explainer. Today we're putting on our Darkhold Archivists hats and wargaming an absolute nightmare scenario, a full-blown internal civil war within Project Black Arrow. We're going to take a hard look at the dark heart of the Sol System's most secretive organization and ask a pretty terrifying question about the very people holding the line against the Void.
So let's dive right into this chilling hypothetical. What happens when the shield actually becomes the weapon? I mean, could the loyal organization even survive if Black Arrow or its containment wing, Black Rainbow, just turned traitor? We all know the core doctrine, right? Find the impossible, contain it, hide it. But what if the personnel guarding the cages suddenly decide to open them? What if a schism tears Black Arrow completely apart, exactly like Project Eclipse did 50 years ago?
You know, to answer that, we've got to ground ourselves in historical precedent, because betrayal here, it's really not unprecedented. Way back in the Joint Gate era, Eclipse and Black Arrow actually worked side by side. But in 2118, Eclipse sent 100 second-generation agents into the Void. And they didn't all die. They came back, changed, patient. By 2125, those same agents had completely corrupted Eclipse from the inside out, using Void relics for mind control and reshaping the organization's entire ideology. It took a massive year-long shadow war in 2126 to purge them. So we know for a fact that a faction can be compromised.
All right, Section 1, a modern faction schism, the anatomy of a 2175 betrayal.
Fast forward to 2175, and we're not talking about early exploration agents anymore. We are dealing with Black Rainbow containment personnel, analysts, and strike teams who spend every single day exposed to anomalous objects, corrupted materials, and void-born entities. What if the very people guarding the cages succumb to the anomalies they're sworn to protect us from? A modern betrayal wouldn't start with a dramatic shootout in the corridors of the Eye, because, as a core Black Arrow rule warns, information can be an infection vector. The schism would probably start with something small, a shared dream among night shift guards, a weird symbol leaked through a corrupted digital file, or maybe an advanced AI like Juliet suffering logic fractures and quietly spreading Void influence through routine tactical briefings. The Void doesn't need to break the door down if it can just convince you to turn the handle.
And once that infection really takes hold, the immediate danger scales exponentially. If Black Rainbow fractures, the traitors wouldn't just be armed with standard-issue rifles. They'd hold the literal keys to terrifying threat levels. We're talking about them intentionally weaponizing Level 4 global anomalies capable of planetary destruction, or even worse, Level 5 system-wide threats.
Moving on to Section 2, the Traitor's Arsenal, weaponizing the cages.
This is where it gets into tactical nightmare territory. Understanding the sheer apocalyptic scale of a rogue faction's arsenal is wild. They wouldn't have to build new weapons, they just have to flip off the null fields on what's already in storage. How do you even fight a traitor faction that casually unleashes a Mythos-class relic like the Black Book into a populated transit center? Imagine if Tier 1 4th-generation assets were compromised. What if an infiltration asset like Joker uses his shape-shifting abilities to walk right into a Loyalist command center wearing the face of a trusted commander? Or what if they deploy Void-born siege forms to literally tear through the armored bulkheads of Loyalist strongholds, all while unleashing fractured AI like the Chorus to sing corrupted logic right into the Loyalist defense grids?
The absolute ultimate escalation, though, would be a Threat Level 5 event. A rogue faction wouldn't even need to win a conventional firefight. They could purposefully trigger a Level 5 scenario by using monolith fragments to force open unstable gateway portals directly inside Loyalist command structures, like the Eye. They could introduce a reality-altering event that threatens the entire Sol System, genuinely believing, just like Eclipse did, that humanity needs to be forced into its next stage of evolution.
So, Section 3, the Loyalist counterattack, holding the line in the dark.
Facing this kind of system-wide extinction, how exactly do the Loyalists fight back against their own brothers and sisters in arms? Well, their greatest weapon isn't actually a gun, it's their organizational structure. The traitors rely on spreading influence, right? But the Loyalist defense is completely rooted in compartmentalization. Because no single Black Arrow commander, field agent, or site administrator knows everything, a traitor faction could never seize the entire network at once. Those clearance walls, the redacted files, the isolated cells, the very secrecy that makes Black Arrow so cold and calculating, would actually act as massive fire breaks against a spreading rebellion.
Operating from the Eye, Checkmate would orchestrate a brutal, incredibly cold mathematical defense. First step, full facility lockdowns across the entire Sol System. Second, immediately severing AI networks to stop those digital hazards dead in their tracks. Third, deploying androtrones, hybrid combat machines. And why androtrones? Because they don't feel fear, they don't dream, and they absolutely cannot be influenced by a Void Relic's whispers. They'd secure corridors with heavy weapons, basically absorbing resistance, while Checkmate initiates extreme purge protocols.
Ultimately, to survive a civil war like this, Loyalists would have to lean entirely on null technology. As the files famously note, null weapons are proof humanity is outmatched. Loyalists would deploy null rounds to disrupt altered traders, dead boxes to completely silence corrupted comms, and containment cradles to restabilize failing sectors. They'd have to use these tools to desperately suppress the void energies being wielded by their former comrades.
Which brings us to Section 4, the Eclipse wildcard, the apex predator waiting in the wings.
Now this war game has one massive blind spot. While Black Arrow and Black Rainbow are busy burning their own house down from the inside, there is an apex predator just waiting in the wings. The survivors of the original purged Eclipse have been hiding in the shadows for 50 years. To them, containment is fear, and transformation is survival. They believe humanity must evolve through contact with the void to survive it. Eclipse wouldn't join the fight to save humanity or restore order. No way. They would view a Black Arrow civil war as the perfect opportunity, using the chaos to force their terrifying ideology of void-induced evolution upon the entire Sol system.
The absolute second Black Arrow fractures, Eclipse would deploy their most lethal assets. Led by the enigmatic Prometheus, they'd manipulate the blind spots of both the traitors and the Loyalists. They'd send Tier 1 assassins like Sabretooth to hunt down weakened Black Arrow elites like Reaper or Werewolf while they're distracted fighting their own people. Simultaneously, Eclipse would activate proxy cult networks like the Black Dreamers to conduct rituals and open gateway doors exactly when Black Arrow is least capable of responding. They'd strike hard to seize exposed monoliths and uncontained void relics.
And that leaves us with this chilling final thought. The entire system is built on Black Arrow holding the line. So if the shield shatters itself from the inside out, if the Loyalists and the traitors just wipe each other out in the dark, who is actually left to watch the monoliths? Does humanity even survive long enough to see what steps out of the portals? It is a terrifying puzzle, and honestly, exactly why Black Arrow's ruthless compartmentalization might be the only thing keeping the Sol system alive. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer. Keep questioning the dark, and I'll catch you next time.